Hi, friends. I am multitasking because that is my favorite thing to do. So, right now, I'm live on Instagram and I'm like 2 seconds away from being live on Facebook as well. So, as that all gets set up, I just had a funny moment. Funny for me. I don't know, might not be funny for you at all. But I was sipping my coffee and it says, let's or talk about money, right? It's a mug from the Financial Diet, but it's so funny because I saw it and it made me remember that scene from 10 Things I Hate About You, where the guidance counselor's like, cat, cat. Anyway, might be not as funny for you, but it was silly for me. Mm. So today I am talking about 8 myths that, not even myths, these are things that therapists hear all the time if they are going into private practice. So I want to kind of play a little bingo game. So I'm going to run through the 8 different things that most of us have heard if you're a therapist in private practice. And I'm also going to talk about why these things are so problematic. I posted this on my Instagram and on my Facebook business page yesterday. It's a little bingo sheet, and I am encouraging people to take a look at it and then let me know, hey, have you heard some of these things? So the things are: you didn't go into this field to make money. Therapists who go into private practice aren't real therapists. You will never get a full caseload if you don't accept insurance. You have to work nights and weekends if you want to be full. Taking time off means you'll harm your clients. If you don't hit 6 figures, your practice really isn't successful. Disclosing things about yourself is un-therapeutic, and you can't raise your rates or your clients will see someone else. So if you are watching along and you're like, oh my gosh, I've heard all of those things, then congratulations, you've gotten private practice therapist bingo. And when I posted it yesterday, so many people were like, oh yeah, that is me. I have heard those things. So you are definitely not alone. So let me talk a little bit about each of these things and say hi as you pop on. I am multitasking, so I've got my Facebook Live going while I have my Instagram Live. So if my eyes kind of dart from place to place, that's why, because I'm trying to track multiple things. So let's talk about the first one, the problem with the notion that you didn't go into this field to make money. I talk about this all the time as a private practice therapist. Remember, I have a master's in social work. Most people who are therapists have at least a master's degree. Many of them have even more education. So we've got at least four years of undergraduate education. We have then at least another 2 of graduate school. Then we have years of an internship that we have to do before we are able to see clients independently and charge for those services. Therapists, social workers are some of the only people who are mid-level healthcare providers who are told that they shouldn't make money. My friends who are nurse practitioners, who are physician's assistants, who are psychiatric NPs, they don't get that same message about not going into the field to make money. Oftentimes when they tell their friends or family that that's what they're pursuing, they hear things like, oh my gosh, that's so great, you're going to make such a great living, or what a great career path for you. But as therapists are told that we somehow shouldn't be compensated for our work. Which brings me to bingo number 2, that therapists who go into private practice are in it for the wrong reason. I heard that verbatim when I was in graduate school in the School of Social Work. Somebody came in and said, you're not really a social worker if you go into private practice, which again just kind of fuels this myth that social workers need to be martyrs. They need to do things for free or for low pay, otherwise they're doing it wrong, which is again a gross trope to paint an entire field as, to say that the only way that you can really be a good therapist is if you are in an agency or if you are in a hospital or something like that. And it's not true. Plenty of therapists go into private practice because the niche that they have carved out for themselves simply isn't, widely available in agency work or in hospital work. Take a look at me, right? I specialize in financial therapy and I help couples with financial shame kind of undo it so they can strengthen their relationship by including money in it. Let me tell you, no hospital is going to hire me for that specific niche. So I had to go into private practice so that I could serve those exact right clients. Number 3, bingo number 3, you'll never get a full caseload if you don't accept insurance. Ugh, this one is so frustrating for me. And I wish that insurance reimbursed better, right? I wish that I could say I accept 12, 15, 30 different types of insurances, but I can't because they grossly reimburse me at a super, super low rate. And not only is that rate super low, but it's also delayed by often 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks. I do take one insurance in my private practice, but the rest of my work is private pay, and that has been perfectly fine. So for people who say you'll never get a full caseload if you don't accept insurance, again, let's think about what our clients want from us and what they need from us, and whether or not they make the decision that our services are valuable for them. Meaning, so I was talking to a dentist the other day, and they were saying like, I can't charge more because I'm in a suite with another dentist. And if I lower my rates, or if I raise my rates, they're just going to go across the suite to see this other person. And I was like, no, let's hit pause on that for a second. If I'm a consumer and I'm looking at 2 dentists and one of them charges $100 for a service and one of them charges $300 for a service, my first instinct is going to be that $300 person is probably better. Right or wrong, that's going to be a thought I have. And that $100 person, what are they doing that's making their services so cheap? Are their tools old and janky? Does their office look like it's from the 70s? Have they not gotten continuing ed and stuff like that, right? So I think it's worthwhile to just consider what else goes into that decision besides just insurance. And I am a person who pays out of pocket for my woman healthcare because I haven't been able to find an insurance-based provider who spends enough time with me. So I will happily spend money out of pocket to be in the room with my practitioner, with my physician for an hour. And they actually listen to me and they actually know who I am. They aren't constantly charting while they're talking to me and I'm in and out of there in 10 minutes. I like that I can really build a relationship with them, and I'm happy to pay out of pocket for that. So that's that third bingo myth of you'll never get a full caseload if you don't accept insurance. You guys know I like to talk quickly when I get excited. So I'm going to pause, talk about money some more, have a sip of coffee. Oh, also, hack for anybody else who is a content creator who is scrolling on by and watching this. I am repurposing the ish out of this particular video. I'm going live on Instagram. I'm going live on Facebook. I did it via Zoom so I can record it. And later on, I'll put that recording up onto YouTube. And then I'm going to strip the audio and turn it into a podcast. So one chunk of my time has now become 4 different, now will live on 4 different places. So that's a little life hack for my content creators. Clearly, I'm very worked up. All right. Myth number 4, bingo number 4, you have to work nights and weekends if you want to be full. This is something that I firmly believed when I started in private practice. In fact, I started by only seeing clients on Sundays because I told myself, well, nobody else is offering Sundays. I'll be able to kind of corner the market on offering therapy on Sundays. And it was sort of true, but it was sort of not true. Again, because not everybody wants to go in and see their therapist on a Sunday. And for me, I don't know that I was showing up as my best version of a therapist because Sunday traditionally for me has been I stay in my pajamas till noonday. So then to get up and get ready and come in and shift into therapist gear was a little bit tricky for me. I'm not saying that they got, care that wasn't appropriate, but I am saying that for me, there was a part of me that was like, oh, I really wish I was at home, reading the Times and doing something else. So for me, I have built my caseload where I do offer 1 night per week. That's it. And the only people that are able to get those nighttime slots are current clients, right? So it's kind of a reward. Hey, Erica. Hey, Aman. So it's kind of a reward for people who have been in therapy with me for a little while that they get those late afternoon or evening spaces. I don't right out of the gate offer those evening spaces to new people, because then just those evening spaces would be full. So instead, I kind of coach them on what to expect. And I say, look, if you call 12, 15 other therapists, most of them are not going to offer nights or weekends. And I don't blame them. How many other people want to be working nights and weekends? Not that many. So I coach them and say, like, look, you can take a noon appointment on a Wednesday. If when an evening appointment opens up, then it's yours. But you first have to be one of my clients before I'm going to funnel you down there. So it's kind of a reward to say, we build this rapport, we build this relationship. And then if things change and you still want that evening, you can have it. But what also tends to happen is people are like, oh, it's actually not that big of a deal to do therapy at noon on a Wednesday. People have all of these ideas that they can't leave work or they can't pop out to take care of themselves, and it's just not true. All right. Then the next one is taking time off means you'll harm your clients. So this is something that I had heard and kind of internalized when I first started in private practice, because it can be so scary to leave your clients and feel like, who are they going to see? What happens if something goes wrong? So from the jump, I really, really paint the picture for them that I am not a crisis therapist. That is not what I do. That's not who I am. And I give them lots of emergency resources for the times when I take vacation. And I tell them from the jump, when I take time off, here's how here are the different resources that you can access. But I don't say to them, here's my cell, you text me at midnight if you need me when I'm on vacation. So taking time off and building that in for your clients is huge, but it also provides modeling for them, right? It models for them that they're allowed to take time off, that they can put an out of office reminder at their work and the earth is not going to crumble. So for me, I also think about taking time off as modeling self-care, modeling healthy boundaries. And again, by really helping to educate them and help them to understand what happens when I take time off. And it helps to make sure that they feel safe and protected and taken care of as well. The next bingo item is, if you don't hit six figures, your private practice really isn't successful. This one is one that makes me want to rip my hair out, because here's what I see happen a lot with private practice therapists is they get into it, they get excited, and then, Google is smart, Instagram's smart, Facebook is smart. They start targeting you with all of these private practice ads, things that say things like 10-figure months and 6-figure years. And those types of things are very enticing because it sounds like, ooh, if I hit 6 figures, then everything will be better. And that is hugely problematic. That's why I'm a financial therapist, right? Because when we believe that when we make X, everything else will be better, we are selling ourselves a lie. And now, that is not to say that making more money is a bad thing. I'm a huge proponent of, again, making sure that you're raising your prices to fees that are sustainable for you and that provide you with the lifestyle that serves you. But when we say you'll only be successful if you hit 6 figures a year, or if you hit those 10K months, we are diminishing all of the strength and success of private practice clinicians who are working their way towards that. Plus, we're not taking into effect the cost of living, right? The cost of living here where I am in Ann Arbor is so much higher than places even 30 minutes away. So for me, if I lived 30 minutes away, I could probably make a really solid living pulling in 65, 75K a year, and there would be nothing to be ashamed about. But if I'm a therapist practicing in New York City, or I'm a therapist practicing in San Francisco, where the cost of living is exorbitantly higher, we have to adjust that you also probably need to make more than 6 figures. So selling this idea that once you hit 6 figures, life is gravy is just not okay. I'm a proponent of looking at your numbers, looking at your needs, and setting your fees in accordance with what works for you, which is why all that marketing about 6 figures being the gold standards drives me insane. So I'm here to tell you, if you're making less than that, you are A-okay. And if you're making more than that and you're struggling, that's also okay too. What we want to do is build a practice for you that is built around your needs and your numbers. All right. The next bingo, second to last bingo here, is disclosing things about yourself is un-therapeutic. Blah, blah, blah. This one makes me so cranky because it is built on these old ideas in the field of psychology that was built by old white dudes that we have to remain 100% neutrality and clients can't know anything about us or it disrupts the therapeutic experience. That type of belief assumes that you are a white cis male therapist also seeing a white cis client who is probably also straight, right? So many problems with that. I tell clients all the time, and I tell the private practice therapist that I'm talking to, like, when you look at me, it's pretty evident that I'm not a straight up white person. So I'm not going to lie to you and not tell you what my ethnic background or what my racial background is, because you can tell that I'm not an old white dude, right? So when people come into the therapeutic space and they ask me, hey, like, do you mind telling me a little bit about your ancestry? I'm not going to come at them and say, why is that important to you? I'm going to say, let me tell you a little bit. I'm Filipina and I'm white and I identify as brown. What about my background is important for you to know? And that helps to open up the therapeutic relationship to say, hey, this is a person here who's willing to disclose things about herself. I have also in therapy sessions disclosed my past mental health struggles. And it's not a way of making the therapy session about me or about, jeopardizing the work that we're doing. But sometimes it is important to tell your clients, like, hey, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. You are talking to a person who has struggled with an eating disorder and depression and anxiety, right? That is incredibly validating, incredibly normalizing to say, I haven't been where you have been, but I have also struggled, right? And to know that your therapist is human is incredibly important, right? So disclosing things about yourself in a way that is healthy, in a way that is still boundaried, is incredibly therapeutic. And I hate hearing the things about disclosing things about yourself is untherapeutic. I also see that in websites, both in imagery and in copy, that therapists want to hide themselves, and that doesn't help anyone. I told this story to my email list this week that because I'd internalized that I can't disclose anything about myself, my first website featured a picture of cabbage. Yeah, because I thought that was like a cute way to say that I work with people with money issues, and cabbage is like kind of a take on money. Yeah. Do you know how many people got that? 0. So I scrapped that. And now you see my face all over my website because you, as a potential client, or for therapists watching this, your potential client wants to see you. They're not going in to see a stack of rocks. If I see that stack of rocks one more time, I'm going to scream. And it's not because I'm mad at you. It's because I can also remember the time when I featured cabbage on my website, thinking that that was going to really reel in my clients. So now on my website, I talk about myself. I say, hey, this is who I am. This is what I do. But I also disclose that, like, hey, I'm an intersectional feminist. If that bugs you, then I'm not the right therapist for you. I come at it with my lens of intersectional feminism. And if that doesn't float your boat, cool, man, like, go find somebody else to be your therapist. But I do definitely lead with who I am. When you click on my about page, you learn about me, not just a gazillion credentials. I don't lead with, oh, I'm certified in integrated behavioral health and I'm certified in CMT or CBT and blah, blah, blah. Like, that stuff really doesn't matter to potential clients. What matters to them is who are you and how can you help, which is why I do engage in self-disclosure in therapy sessions. Last bingo of the day is you can't raise your rates or your clients will see somebody else. This goes back to those first few bingos about tying in money with our work. Again, you can raise your rates and pull in aligned clients and they will still see you. And if they bounce because of money being the biggest constrictor for the reason that they are seeing you, they also may not be the best client for you. And that's no shade to them, that's no shade to you, but you can raise your rates and see really aligned clients. So that is my live today. That's their private practice therapist bingo. So you can go look at that post yesterday and take a look and see what happened. I'm going to just flip really quick to my Facebook. So Instagram folks, I'm not ghosting you, but remember I'm multitasking here. So I just want to see if I've missed out on any comments. Looks like we're all good there. Any comments or questions about private practice bingo, or if you have heard those things, I would love to hear them. So again, just FYI, I am expanding my service offerings to help private practice therapists because I think so many of us have been sold this idea that you can't be a good therapist and make money. And I don't think those things are mutually exclusive. You can call in aligned clients, you can be a good therapist, you can do great work, and you can also have an income that supports a sustainable lifestyle. If you're a private practice therapist and you're watching this and you're like, oh my gosh, Lindsay, I've done all those things, then I am thrilled to share with you that my friend Monica from Hold Space Creative, who is a former art therapist turned website designer, she and I have teamed up to bring you a 9-week group coaching program where we will untangle your money stories. We will help you with niching down. Rochelle says yes. Yay, I know. We will help you with niching down. And I'm also bringing in 2 guest experts to talk about marketing. I'm bringing in Tess Wicks, who runs the Wander Wealthy podcast. She is a person who helps money coaches build their business. So when you talk about like that catch-22 of charging for services, she's your girl. And then I'm also bringing in Allison Puryear of Abundance Practice Building. She has an amazing podcast for private practice therapists. She has done a ton of work in her Abundance party and in her inner circle to help with private practice therapists really niche down, call in their ideal clients. So she's going to come in to talk about how to get clients at your new fee. If you're interested in that, make sure to apply. You can DM me. I'm in my DMs way too often. Or you can head to my website, mindmoneybalance.com/profitable practice. Everything that you need to know is there. You can apply until September 2nd. So you still got some time. So you can kind of scroll through and creep on things. I know my therapists don't like making quick decisions. I get that. And to like, just maybe wet your whistle a little bit if you've considered joining. Think about this, that Tess lives in Switzerland because she's lucky as all get out. So because she lives in Switzerland, the time change is a little bit wonky. So what we're going to do to ensure that you get your specific questions answered is we are going to record an interview. And so I've got a bunch of marketing questions I'm going to ask her. But if you want your specific marketing questions answered by her, then I need you to apply and make your first payment for Grow a Profitable Practice from the Inside Out by Monday, the 24th, because we're talking shortly after that. And I want to make sure that if you have specific marketing questions, that Tess gets those answered. So if you're just hopping in now, I'm about to wrap it up, but you can rewatch. I'm talking about private practice bingo, all the myths that private practice therapists have been told about money and why they're problematic, and why my program, Grow a Profitable Practice from the Inside Out, might be exactly what you need. So you can rewatch it now. Cheers. And Facebook friends, I'm about to be done over here too. Yay.